Give us the voice samples. That's what Modi has said. Manmohan Singh should have said this a long time back. Sheshadri, Chari, what's making our guests from Pakistan nervous?
No, I'm trying to make another point. I think we should tell the Pakistani guests. I really appreciate Mr. Nawaz Sharif for having taken the bold step to come here.
Agreed.
And let him go back and tell his Pakistani guests, tell his Pakistani colleagues and friends that look, I have promised. I think we must deliver on the terror issue.
Absolutely.
Why not the Pakistani guests accept that there are fault lines within the Pakistani establishment. There are fault lines. And we are not saying there should not be fault lines. If there are fault lines, try and come out and say that yes, these things should
respond.
There are hawks on both sides. Why don't you?
Mister, we are not denying any fault line on our side, but we are talking about your fault lines.
Of course there are fault lines.
Don't deny them.
We have complaints in Balochistan. We have given you evidence in Balochistan.
That's all. Make a serious attempt. So then, make a serious and sincere attempt.
No, but then why
do you keep on highlighting the hawks?
fault line?
I don't understand that. Why don't we move forward? There are fault lines on both sides.
How do you move forward? How do you move forward?
I put to you, one second, I put to you, Dr. Farid Ahmed Malik. Dr. Farid Ahmed Malik, you're a senior leader of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaaf. I have great personal regard for you. And you are certainly not an unreasonable person. I'm telling you, the way to move on is to solve 2611, give us the voice sample, restrain Hafiz Saeed, and fulfill your own country's promise made repeatedly by Musharraf and by Nawaz Sharif not to allow its country, your country, to become a base for terror globally.
Let me give you.
Sir, that's a reasonable point of view.
We can resolve Siachen, we can resolve Sar Creek, we can resolve Khokrabad. These are all confidence-building measures which can be done tomorrow. It can be done tomorrow. There are no problems here. It's a low-hanging fruit.
It's not this before that. It's not this before that. It's not. No, watch it. I let Maroof come in. Maroof.
It is very simple. I think everything has been agreed on all these three issues.
Arnab, I just want to remind.
Why can't we move forward on them?
Sir, please hear me, sir. Sir, please hear me, sir. I just want to remind all our distinguished Pakistani guests, this issue of Balochistan keeps coming up. I am quoting from distinguished writers in Pakistan, Akbar Ahmed and Murtaza Razvi on his book on Pakistan and on his book on Musharraf. A few points, sir, for your consideration. One, isn't it true that Musharraf decided to eliminate Nawab Bukti and he thought the Baluchi problem would be completely over, for which he is now facing all sorts of charges? Isn't it true that the port of Gwadar built in Balochistan has no Baluchi labor that is used, but you get Punjabi labor and therefore the Baluchis feel alienated in their own state? Isn't it true that bulk of Baluchi oil from the Sui gas fields, etc. goes to Punjab and doesn't get used by the Baluchis? Isn't it true that the area of Balochistan where you claim that India is involved is in the center of Pakistan, and your military and intelligence agencies must be really incompetent that a handful of Indian raw agents can come in the middle of Pakistan undetected with caravans of weapon systems and create confusion there, and you people have not been able to stall them between the Afghan border, the Durand line and Balochistan? Look at Akbar Ahmed's book, The Thistle and the Dawn. He doesn't make a single mention of how the Baluch problem spun out of hand and about what India could have done or has done. There's no mention of the word India. I mean, Murtaza. So there is one. The second thing I want to tell Pakistani guests, they keep bringing up this Kashmir issue. Sir, please hear me. Sir, please hear me.
Maroof, we have limited time. I'm going to let the Pakistani guests respond and go back and forth very quickly.
No, they keep talking about Kashmir. They keep talking about Kashmir. Beat the UN resolution 13th August 1948. Fulfill that requirement and the Kashmir issue will get solved.
But I'm amazed at the amount of homework you have done on Balochistan, which is not true.
Please leave. It's like a Gisawa record. You people just keep talking about Kashmir.
Your homework is not correct.
I mean, quite frankly, what do you have to give to the Kashmiris?
Balochi labor is working on
the visiting Prime Minister of Pakistan did not mention Kashmir. Your Prime Minister did not mention Kashmir.
Just a minute. 1 minute. There's an important point I want to mention here.
You call them that these are written by Indian agents. Is Akbar Ahmed an Indian agent?
Sir, Anyway, one second. An important point Sheshadri Chari is raising here. Yes, Sheshadri Chari.
I'm saying there are fault lines.
Sheshadri Chari.
I'm saying there are fault lines on both sides.
No.
And let's not expand the fault lines. Let's look ahead. Let's look at the doves.
No, please.
Let's look at the positives.
Let's look ahead. I mean,
move away from negative.
No, please appreciate. Please appreciate one thing. Your visiting Prime Minister, your Prime Minister of your country also did not mention Kashmir. I don't understand why do you want to bring into that particular issue into this narrative. We never spoke Kashmir at all. Kashmir is not an issue between the Prime Minister of India and Prime Minister of Pakistan today. It was not there. Your Prime Minister did not bring it up. I don't understand why the political
and with respect to also Colonel Shafqat Saeed, I specifically want to tell him one thing. And to you, Abid Rao and Farid Ahmed Malik, you keep praising Kashmir. Just think tonight. I want one simple thought. I'm not even quoting any author. I'm simply asking you, you go back and ask yourself today why your country is burning. Why your country is being torn apart by people. It's because of terrorism. It is not because of Kashmir.
Yes, that's true.
It's because of terrorism.
I agree with you.
Colonel, your country is in the situation that is in not because of Kashmir.
That is not
but because of terrorism.
Where did it come from?
Kashmir is a major issue in the subcontinent.
No, what's
Kashmir is resolved. Kashmir is a fundamental issue in the subcontinent.
So this Kashmir obsession, I want Colonel Shafqat saying this Kashmir obsession.
Please read the UN resolution.
Is going to hurt you.
UN resolution is on the internet.
Anyway, I don't want to get into
your commitments.
Go to the UN and withdraw the
Colonel Shafqat Saeed.
That is so.
Colonel Shafqat Saeed is saying something. Yes, sir.
I said you want to hear me all this, I can do that at my home. Don't make me sit in front of the camera and then hear you. If you want to hear me, please hear me. If you keep talking like this, if you keep beating about the old issues, forget about the peace. Very senior people who call my comments as very stupid and nonsense, I want to remind them I did not talk of India financing Afghan Taliban. I was talking of the things which are clear like broad daylight. That India is behind everything that is happening in Pakistan. From lack of water in the rivers, construction of illegal dams, to the economic hegemony of India, and the trouble in Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Karachi. Let's forget about all these things if you want to go forward. Peace will not come if you keep your grievances. For God's sake, find somebody who can talk and think of peace. You all are talking things which are going to keep the animosity at its place.
I think...
No, I think I'm going to go back to MJ. One second. I'm going to go back to MJ and
also.
One second. We'll talk about Afghanistan. We're going to talk about Afghanistan. But before I go to the break, before I go to the break, I want to ask MJ Akbar just one question. Colonel Shafqat Saab, 1 minute. Shafqat Saab, 1 minute. Just 1 minute. We can have different views. I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me. Fine. So one simple point. You started MJ. MJ Akbar. MJ. Sir, let's be real, sir. I said your country is being torn apart because of terror, not Kashmir.
I'm here since last 1 hour. You are not listening to me. Please listen to me.
Sir, I'm listening to you. MJ Akbar hasn't even spoken. He's also listening to you.
You don't like the show, don't come on the show.
You're telling me this thing?
1 second, Maroof.
I did not come.
No, 1 second. One second. Colonel Shafqat Saeed, 1 second. Maroof and Colonel Shafqat Saeed. I respect both of you. You all have your views. Yes, you were invited. No, you were invited. Colonel Shafqat Saeed, just a minute.
If you want peace, let's talk of peace. And please learn how peace is made. Peace is made by only discussing pros, not cons. If you keep discussing cons, forget about peace.
No.
We have a longer list than you.
Sir, I disagree.
Bigger country, what you did was all big. And what we did, being a small country, they were small as compared to what you did. So forget about the cons. Don't discuss controversies.
Sir, we
Right?
Okay, now one second. You
future.
don't want
Let's
us to discuss
tomorrow.
controversies.
Let's talk of this weekend for the
Okay, fine. 1 second, Colonel Shafqat Saeed. I go back to MJ Akbar. There is an opportunity, you said, MJ Akbar. But the opportunity has to be built upon some realism. Hasn't it? Some amount of realism.
And your realism is only controversy.
Mr. Akbar.
Your realism cannot...
Not controversy, sir.
Common interest for peace.
2611 is not a controversy. 2611 happened.
It is a controversy.
Yes, MJ.
It is a con. We have problems in...
No, it's not a controversy. It was a massacre carried out by Pakistanis, backed by the Pakistani army on our soil. It is not a controversy.
Please.
It was a massacre, and you have to own up to it. MJ Akbar, please. MJ Akbar, please. Don't call 2611 a controversy. MJ Akbar, please. No, it's not a controversy.
Arnab,
it is a controversy. Arnab, let me tell you, what is technical support division?
Realism can come from
can
many
MJ Akbar can speak, sir. He heard you. आप उनकी बात सुन लीजिए, sir.
आप मुझे बताइए कि वीके
2 मिनट सुन तो लीजिए.
बनाया था जनरल भाटिया ने
आप जरा एमजे अकबर की बात तो सुन लीजिए. शफकत साहब आप सुन तो लीजिए 2 मिनट प्लीज.
आप उनसे सिर्फ ये पूछ लीजिए कि टीएसडी से क्या बनता है और उसने क्या किया था.
अर्नब,
ठीक है, आपकी बात सुनिए, अभी उनकी बात सुनिए.
Arnab, you know, we've used the word realism and so on and so forth. If experience does not teach us realism, no amount of theory and no amount of talk can teach us realism. You know, I'm really always a bit surprised at my Pakistani friends, particularly who feel that they have to defend some particular line, being unable to find out the difference. You have talked of fault lines in the connection of terrorism. Let me just tell you one thing, Arnab, that the demand for Hafiz Saeed is a demand for justice. We want justice. We want justice for a crime that was played out on television and went into every home and every heart of every Indian, and indeed from across the world. It was not an incident that was conducted in the darkness or in the shadows.
I'm very sorry for that.
There has never really been such a brazen attack, inspired. I mean, there's communication lines that were opened between Bombay, Mumbai and the masters.
What happened at Samjhota Express? Who was behind the Samjhota Express massacre?
May I, sir, may I?
The inferno at Samjhota Express. Who's responsible for that?
When you talk of moving on, I mean, shall we move on from justice?
Yes, we have to move on.
Let's
leave behind all these issues. We have issues also. Samjhota Express is not resolved. Who was behind Samjhota Express?
It is impossible for us to move on.
Arnab, I have a serious point here.
Just 1 minute.
And what we saw
just 1 second. No, 1 second. I'm going to take this discussion forward. I'm going to take a break, but before that,
Arnab, one simple point. One simple point to my Pakistani guests. Please talk about Mumbai attack, but don't mention Godhra, please. Godhra is an internal matter of this country. Please tell me how many Pakistanis were killed in Godhra. Please tell me how many Pakistanis were killed in Godhra. If you have an answer for this, you come for discussions. We have been patiently listening to you.
Okay,
we have been patiently listening to you. That does not mean that you can cross all these limits.
Sir, there is a limit. Sir, 1 minute. As far as no, 1 second. I'm putting this on the table. I second what Sheshadri Chari has said. I'm taking a break. But as far as the Gujarat riots are concerned, as far as Samjhota is concerned, there is a legal process in this country, and that legal process is not a frozen process. That legal process on both Samjhota and the Gujarat riots is being followed. But you tell us answer one question. How would you feel today if an Indian terror group was to carry out a terrorist attack on Pakistan, innocent Pakistanis were to be killed? Would you sit quiet? Since that does not happen, probably you cannot relate to it, sir, but peace does not happen in a vacuum. If peace has to happen, it has to happen with some realism. I'm going to come back to the debate on the other side of the break.
There are complaints in
I'm coming back to the debate. I'm coming back to the debate.